Welcome to Lesson 5. This is the final lesson in the Mindset module. And this lesson is called How to Stay Motivated. And it's going to show you how you can keep moving forward, even when the inevitable challenges arise. Because, you know what? They will arise. And it's very important to be realistic that in any journey, in any career, and no matter what you do, anything worth having doesn't come easy. So what does that mean? That means there's going to be challenges. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be times you don't know what to do for a little bit. But when you understand how you can stay motivated, that's how you won't quit. You won't throw in the towel. You'll keep moving forward. So this lesson is important because everybody comes to a point in their life when they want to quit. But it's what you do at that moment that determines who you are. And that's a quote by David Goggins, very inspirational person. He's the author of a book, Can't Hurt Me. And he's basically went from extremely out of shape to a Navy SEAL and runs ultra marathons. But it's not just the physicality that is inspirational, but it's also just his message of being able to stay motivated and being your own source of motivation. Because of course it's great to have friends and family that believe in you and support you, but at the end of the day, you need to be your own source of motivation. And that is what's going to keep you going when you feel like quitting. When you feel like you don't have anything left, you can't work at something anymore, you can't figure out a certain business challenge, that's when the winners and the losers are decided. So the ones that keep moving forward and that stay motivated and remember their purpose and their passion are the ones that are the most successful. So this lesson is about different ways you can stay motivated. And it all starts with understanding what motivation even is. So when you break it down, what does the word motivate mean? It means to provide an incentive, a move to action, impel something, inspire, drive, or provoke. So that's what motivate means. It means something that literally is provoking you to take action. It's inspiring you. And so many people struggle with this. They struggle with finding something that actually lights them up, that they love. And the truth is, all successful people are a master at staying motivated. So if you don't have that inspiration, you really need to go back and, before you move on, nail down what your why is, because it all builds on each other, and that is what helps you stay motivated. Next, I want to talk about health, and I want to talk about wealth, and I want to talk about relationships. And the area where all of these combine is actually where motivation lies. These all need to be aligned for you to really be motivated at the highest level. All millionaires, all successful people, everyone who is living their ideal life, they have all of these areas in check. Because if you're completely unbalanced and you're just focusing on your money, the chances are your health is going to suffer. Chances are your relationships will suffer. And it goes the same for any of these circles. If you're just focused on your health, and you're just not doing anything else besides you're working out and preparing food, guess what? You're probably not going to be doing good with your relationships or with your finances. And it's the same way or the other way around. If you're just hanging out with people all the time, you're just focused on your relationships or going out and just nurturing non-business relationships, that is going to really affect how much money you can make and how good your health is, because you're not living from a place of alignment. So understand that you can do all of the things in the right way and you can focus on putting these things into action. But if you're living your life out of overall alignment and overall balance, it's really going to impact you. So make sure that you're always keeping yourself in check and you're making sure that you're coming from a place of motivation and alignment of these three areas. Understand that everything is connected. So diet and exercise, you might not think that that's related to making more money, but in reality it is. And it's been shown time and time again when you start to look into how successful people schedule their day. A lot of successful people and people that have some of the biggest fortunes ever are very, very into their physical health. They're very into their relationships and making sure everything is combined and everything is at the highest level, that they're winning when they're doing everything. They're not just focusing on one area. And another part of that too is having some sort of deeper purpose. For some people, it's meditation. For others, it's religion. Or for others, it's just being with yourself. But it is all important, and it does all add to having a true millionaire and unbreakable mindset. Next, take inventory of your life and then detox what doesn't serve you. Unfollow all content, friends, and even family. I know this might sound like something that's harsh, but you need to be relentless. You're taking this course because you want to become a profitable freelancer. And in order to do so, in order to be a successful entrepreneur and just be successful in business in general, you need to take out anything that's not helping you. So any naysayers, you need to cut them out. Either unfollow them, block them, whatever it is. If that naysayer is a friend or a family member, you need to really understand that if you want to be successful, you can't let them impact you. And like we spoke about earlier, the contents of your mind are what you feel, what you actually become. So you need to make sure you're very, very, very careful with what you're allowing in your life. And when you're taking inventory of it, you're writing down who you hang out with, and you're able to look back and say, oh, well, who did I hang out with last month? That's going to help you understand how and where you can cut things out that aren't serving you. Next, understand that you are either taking actions to build your life up or to destroy it. You're never just staying the same. And this is another misconception people have, that everything's staying the same, everything's good. The truth is, if you're not taking actions to continually build, to improve, you're actually going to find yourself falling down. Because in life, there really is no middle ground when it comes to motivation, when it comes to your mindset. You're either doing things that you know are healthy for you and positive, or you're doing things that are not good for you. Of course, as humans, we know that it's the devil and the angel in your head. When you're on a diet, you always want to eat that dessert. So understand that you're actually wired to want things that destroy you in a way. But when you're always taking actions and you're always making sure you're focusing on the things that build your life, you can be in control of yourself and not the other way around, not letting your brain control yourself. And forming a plan, getting up early, writing your goals down, and taking that action it sounds so simple, but in reality, this is really what it takes to stay motivated. You need to force yourself to do these things. So for me, I like to get up at least a couple hours earlier than I need to physically do anything at work, because that lets me actually have some time for myself to get a good meal in, to do whatever, a workout, some yoga, stretch. You need to make sure that you have a routine, that you're forming your plan, and that you're taking action on it and you're executing. Because if you're just kind of waking up and just spontaneously going about your day, you're not going to be able to stay motivated because you don't have a plan. And when you don't have a plan, you don't know what steps you need to take. You're just acting out of memory. Memory is not that good. I'm sure you don't remember what you even had for breakfast yesterday. So remember, you need to write things down, and this is all going to build on itself, like I said, because I'm going to show you how you can write things down, especially as it comes to freelancing and with clients. So don't worry, we'll get much more into that as the modules progress. Next, make health and wellness a priority in your life. Understand that if you're not healthy and you can't literally show up to work, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. Your health, the vessel you live in, your body, is the most important thing. So some ways you can make your health a priority. You don't need to think that this is a massive thing, like 2 hours a day, every day you need to work out. Just get your blood moving and start to do things that feel good for you. So for some, like I said, it's just working out. For others, it's yoga. For others, it's just doing stretching. So wherever your body is, whatever your age is, it doesn't really matter. There's always something you can find that is healthy to get your health in order. And the next part about it is your diet. Your diet can actually control the way your mind thinks. So be careful what you put in your body as well. When you're understanding that it's not just about how much money you make, it's not just about your personal freedom, but it's also about your actual physical health, that helps you stay motivated, because when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do good. Next, to stay motivated, it's very important to always remember that great freelancers are created. They're not born. This is the same thing with any profession, great salespeople. When it comes to the business world, this is another reason I love freelancing and I love being an entrepreneur. You are the one that is in control, and you can get good at anything you want to. You can become a good freelancer as long as you put in the effort, and you need to understand that. You can't look at other people and just say, oh yeah, well, they're lucky, they're just good at that, or they're good with people. Because what it really takes is daily training. It takes role playing, investing in yourself, just like you did with this course. So you're on the right path. You can create this life for yourself. Next, being extraordinary. And that's really what it takes to stay motivated, to be a profitable freelancer. You need to be like the most dependable person that you know, because so many people aren't. So many people start things and they quit. They don't give their all. They're not really living to their full self. Let people know that you're different, that you're unique. That's how all people who have a millionaire mindset act. They're not afraid to let people know who they are. Actions that you take, that's what's going to set you apart from everyone else. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has an opinion, but there's very few people who actually take the time to act on that, to form their opinions into actions and show people through their actions as opposed to showing people through their speech. And surrounding yourself with success, this is vital. When you're surrounding yourself with other people they want to grow, people that want to do better in life, that are open-minded, that are motivational, you're going to find that helps you be much more motivated every single day, because misery does love company. So when people start to complain and gossip and just kind of act from this low vibration, it really does subconsciously bring down your state of consciousness. It really does, because when you're surrounded with those negativity-based thoughts, those fear-based thoughts, people just always thinking that someone's out to get them, and they're complaining about this and how they don't have power and how the government's doing this and that to them, you can't let yourself be surrounded by that. You just have to cut that out. And that's why this is in this module. This is getting your mind morphed and molded to be the best and most successful freelancer possible. So surround yourself with success. Read those books that you want to read. Take in that good content on YouTube, right? So make a list of the people that you know are positive, that you like talking to, and reach out to them. Make sure you're taking action to surround yourself with what you want your life to be. And then keep your schedule jam-packed. And this is another really big way to be successful and to be motivated, because when you're always looking forward to that next thing and you always have that next task to complete, it helps you, because that motivation just keeps building and building and building. It all starts with waking up and brushing your teeth and making your bed. And by the end of the day, you look back and you literally completed a bunch of client work. You got to spend time with your family. When you keep your schedule jam-packed, you get more done. And when you get more done, you are motivated. You need to keep your schedule so jam-packed that you're literally like happy if an appointment cancels or something. That's how busy I'm telling you to be, because too much dead time is a problem with anyone. I know for me, that's when doubt starts creeping in. You need to keep your schedule busy. It doesn't mean don't take short breaks throughout the day, but it does mean you're splitting your day up and you're making sure that you're winning these daily battles, because you don't need to just go into the day and just hope you can get everything done. You need to go in there knowing you're going to get everything done, and that's what helps you stay motivated in the long run. Now, let's get into the top 10 ways to stay motivated to finish this lesson off. Number 1, dress for success. I suggest that you be the most professionally dressed person no matter where you are. And it doesn't matter. Let's say you're on a webinar. Dress for success. Let's say you're going to meet up with a client in person, or you're just going on like a family vacation. Dress for success because you want to look like you can buy the products that you sell. You never know when a new opportunity is going to arise. And on top of that, when you look good, like we said, you feel good. And when you feel good, you're more motivated to do things. You're more motivated to talk to people. And even just showering and feeling clean can ultimately shape your whole day and shift your thinking. Show up early. Even when you don't want to, even when you're exhausted and your eyes are tired, showing up early to work, showing up early to meetings, it doesn't matter what it is. This is going to help you stay motivated. This is what all successful people do. So don't pass up on this and don't let yourself think that it's not important. It really is. And it shows that you're going to go above and beyond. And once you start doing these actions and they become a routine, it reshapes the way you feel and you feel more motivated because you know you have to get up early. You know you have to show up early. And that's how people start to view you. And once people view you a certain way, it starts to help you really become it. Next, stay late. You really just have to shift your thinking away from the 9-to-5 mindset where as soon as it hits 5, you just have to shut off work and you're free. And remember what I said about you still can control your whole schedule. So it doesn't mean if you don't like working late, you can still wake up 5 a.m. and you can get your shift done by like the afternoon if you wanted. What I mean by staying late is just being willing to put the work in. Be so passionate that you're happy to work later than you need to, than you expected to achieve that success for you and for your family. Number 4, look at how you can help others. Every day, something I try to do is look at a way I can help someone out. Just even if it's something simple, just reaching out to someone, spreading some positivity, maybe it's giving some help on one of my coaching clients or one of my clients has a question. I always look to help people that are struggling because that's another way you can really stay motivated when you start to shift your thinking from a selfish point of view to a more altruistic point of view, which means how can we all help each other out? That really helps you stay motivated, and you'll feel that coming back to you. Number 5 is moving your body. Exercise a little bit whenever you feel stagnant. Move, just be in charge of your body. That could mean getting up and doing some stretches. Let's say you want to get up, do some squats, some jumping jacks. Just getting your blood flowing will really do a lot to help you stay motivated. Get up, move your body, especially when you're tired. Eat the healthiest foods you can. Your body is literally your vessel. So I like to think of this as putting the best gas in a race car. If you're driving a Ferrari, right, you don't want to put on a bunch of bumper stickers and put in like the cheapest gas you can find and let it get down to E. No, you want to keep that car clean. You want to put the best fuel in it. You need to think about yourself and everything you do is related to your success because it really is. So there's actually been studies that prove that sugar and gluten and dairy and alcohol impair the way that your mind works and functions. So if you can cut those things out and you can focus on eating the healthiest food that you can buy, you're going to see that you will be much more motivated. Number 7, always seek out those new opportunities. Never let yourself get comfortable. Always be looking to grow. Go to workshops, to events, attend online webinars. There's so many things you can do to keep looking at new opportunities, different ways to learn new skills, even on your off time, I love to just always consume positive content, to look at new opportunities, new skills I can learn, right? It doesn't matter how smart you are or how good your ideas are. If you're not motivated to make them happen and to always seek out new opportunities, it's going to fizzle out. Number 8, be the most ethical person you know. So I like to approach success as like an ethical issue, not a financial one. It shouldn't just be about money. Success should also be about doing something that you believe in, that you know is good. So for me, something that I know is helping people like this course, like helping the clients I have. I know that what I'm doing is ethical because I'm actually delivering what I say I can. If you're not ethical deep down, that is going to ultimately create guilt, no matter what. And number 9, have a higher purpose or a mission. This all connects right back to your why. You need to remember why you're doing this. This is going to help keep you motivated when times get tough. And number 10, Keep setting new goals. As we spoke about previously, as you continue to progress on your freelancing journey, you need to keep setting those new goals. And this is something a lot of successful people actually have failed at one time or another, and I've been there. Once you start to achieve a certain level of success, you stop setting goals. You stay happy with where you're at. So whether it's an income level, whether it's a number of clients, it doesn't matter, but you need to make sure you keep raising the bar. Make sure you're focusing on the future, not the past. Keep setting new goals. You don't have to be caught up in the past. Be so caught up in the future and providing in the present that you can stay motivated and you can create your own motivation from within. So now you know how to stay motivated, and I really hope you enjoyed this module. Lesson 4. This lesson is called The Power of Positivity, and it shows you how to rewire your brain to focus on the positive and to focus on what you can actually control in life. And ultimately, the goal is so you can control your attitude, control how you react, and overall enhance your life. So I want to go over why this lesson is important. As you see here, this smiling baby, that automatically has a subconscious effect on us because positivity and the ability to smile in any situation and just be completely, positive is one of the most influential traits that humans have. But unfortunately, it is easily forgotten, especially as you grow up. But babies know how to use this. They have this always in their back pocket. They can always just start smiling and laughing, and no matter what they just did before to upset you, they could have just, threw up all over you. They start laughing. You're not going to be upset. You're just going to be kind of sucked into that emotion. And what I want you to understand is that millionaires and having a millionaire mindset, it's all about the same thing. It's about being positive no matter what. This doesn't go away as you get older, and it shouldn't. So, the single most valuable asset is the ability to stay positive. And this lesson is called The Power of Positivity because it has such an influential power, like we just spoke about. And the truth is, a great attitude is worth much more than a great product. People will pay more. Clients will pay you more, will pay a freelancer more if they have a better attitude. This is why it's so vital to be positive at all times, whether things are going good or things are going bad, whether a client is upset about something or whether they're extremely happy about something. You need to make sure that you're always staying positive. And this all starts with your daily attitude, what you tell yourself every day, how you act every single day. This is what builds on each other day after day and ultimately creates a personality and a persona of positivity. So when people think about you, they think about you and your positivity that you make them feel. Because people don't remember what you said all the time, but they always remember how you made them feel. And your attitude is controlled by your thoughts. So starting to rewire this, how can you stay positive? Well, you can start controlling what your thoughts are and what you're telling yourself. And how can you do that, you might be asking? Well, your thoughts are controlled by the content of your mind. And this is where the actual control comes in, because guess what? You are the one that controls what you put in your mind, because the contents of your mind are what your thoughts are. How can you start to control this? Well, treat your mind and treat your body and everything like it's a sacred space. Don't let any negativity in. This might be very difficult because even if you just ask yourself before you started watching this lesson today, what have you consumed that's negative? Unfortunately, most people have already consumed multiple things. From the time they wake up, they looked on Instagram, they looked at the news, something negative probably came your way. And that is what is impacting you. That is what is affecting the contents of your mind. So what can you do? Make a decision to cut out all negativity. You are a product of your environment, whether you believe it or not. The people you surround yourself with, what you watch on TV, what you scroll, on your social media feeds, the rumors and the conspiracy theories that you're listening to and giving energy to, all of that is making up who you are. So it's not just a saying. You really are the product of your environment. And that's why millionaires and billionaires and anyone successful, they understand this and they treat their environment with the most respect that they can. And this is a drill right now, like we just said. Ask yourself, what did you already receive since you woke up this morning? You might have thought about a couple things, but right now I want you to now physically write it down. What content is in your mind? Did you spend time watching something motivational or training? What I want you to do is write down what you did today so far, because now you can start to analyze that. And if you do this on a daily basis, now you can see what is contributing and what is helping you stay positive and what is actually dragging you down. And step one, now that you have this written down, is to start to clean up your environment. So this isn't just your physical environment, this is also your digital environment. So that means, number one, first, just clean your bedroom. If you have clothes all over the ground, if you're not making your bed, that's literally step one. You need to get that in order and then start to go down the line. Get your house in order, get your home office in order. Start to put up things that motivate you, positivity quotes, art, whatever kind of resonates with you. And then go into your digital life. Who are you following on social media? Who are you giving power to and not even realizing it? Remember, you don't owe anything to anyone. Just because you went to high school with someone doesn't mean you need to still look at their content every single day on Facebook. It could be negative. So next, understand that having a positive attitude is contagious, like I said. So people act how you treat them. And this goes into freelancing and it works into freelancing in a lot of different ways. But how you treat people, and if you use positivity, you can be very, very influential. So even if a client is yelling at you or is unhappy with something, or it could be out of your control, you need to always have this positive attitude. And it doesn't mean you ignore them. You tell them you understand, you consult with them, you tell them that you're going to get through this, but you need to stay positive. You can't act out of emotion. You can't let negativity take over, because that is what's contagious. And if you start arguing or something, that is going to be the downfall. So remember, people act how you treat them, even when things aren't going good. And the next thing I want to talk about is the placebo effect. This is what proves that your mind actually has control over your entire body. The placebo effect is known to occur when, let's say, for example, a person takes a pill and another person takes a pill that actually is just a sugar pill. And what happens is they look at that. It's what's called a double-blind study. And the person that got the real pill for whatever it is, medication or whatever, and the person that got the sugar pill, oftentimes they both report feeling similar things. But you might ask yourself, well, how can that occur? How can someone have an impact to something if it's just a sugar pill? Well, look it up, because it's called the placebo effect, and it's been proven that the content of your mind and what you tell yourself has the literal ability to rewire your physical body and your physical state of being. And lastly, you got to just kill them with kindness. No matter what happens in life, there's always going to be negativity that comes up, negative situations. And you have to stay calm. You have to keep that light in your eyes and stay positive. This is ultimately what is going to separate you from your competition. You have to do what other people won't do. And when other people aren't being positive, be even more positive than you can imagine. That is how you're going to be a profitable freelancer. That is how you're going to use the power of positivity. And next, I want to get into how you can stay positive, some action-based things you can do. First, it might sound simple, but you need to make the decision to be positive in the first place. Make the decision that you are going to be viewed as a positive person. So if you have any fears, you need to confront these right now. If you're scared to kind of get out there, you're scared to build a personal brand or to be on camera or be on the phone, understand that there's no reason to be scared. All you have to do is just stay positive and decide you're going to be viewed as a positive person. That's how you're going to start acting positive. Next, like we said, smile. Even babies know this trick. Start seeing problems as opportunities. We're going to get into this more and more, but as a freelancer and as a successful entrepreneur, Look at the world in a different way. Once you start seeing problems as opportunities you can solve, number one, it makes life more fun. And when life's more fun, it makes you more positive. Next, talk positively. Speak positively. The words you use, your vocabulary, even your tone of voice, whether you use curse words every other word, all of that impacts how you feel. It impacts the content of your mind, and it impacts how positive you can be. So make sure you're using the best words to actually convey a positive mindset. And have a plan. You need to have a plan. You need to know where you're going in order to get there. Next, like we spoke about, taking massive levels of action is another way to stay positive, because you're never kind of sulking on any loss or any setback. When you're always taking new actions, you're always staying positive because you're working on that next goal. How can you improve? How can you do things better? Consuming positive content. This is another one. This can be even just things that make you feel good. Another positive content form I like to consume is podcasts. Listening to positive podcasts, people that are in the business world, people that I look up to. It's all about consuming things that make you feel good and that make you have this positive outlook. That's how you can ultimately stay positive and control when you start to feel negative. Next, never complain. You need to cut complaints out. And another drill, I've heard is really effective and that I've tried before and it, is very difficult, is just never complain for as long as you can. So let's just try for 24 hours. You are going to see, no matter what, you're either going to say something to yourself, you're going to complain about something, your back's going to hurt, or you're not going to want to do something, you're not going to want to do a chore or the dishes. But try to tell yourself not to complain. And instead of saying, oh, I have to do this, say, I get to do this. So instead of saying, oh, I have to go to work now, or I have to make this call I don't want to make, try to rewire your brain. Try to stay positive. Remember why you're doing this and tell yourself, I get to do this. That's how you can stay more positive. And always be grateful. Remember your why in all circumstances. Next, focus on the solution, not the problem. You need to focus on the ways you can actually provide solutions, provide value, provide alternative courses of action, not just focus on what the problem is and get hung up on it. And motivating others around you is another great way to stay positive. When you're just focused on yourself and you're just caught up in your own mind frame, you're not really thinking big enough. Think about how you can help your family, how you can help your community. All of a sudden, I'm sure if you were thinking negative, now you're thinking from a much more positive place because you're thinking about how you can motivate others around you. And that's much bigger than just yourself. And lastly, always seek new challenges out. How to stay positive might seem like an impossible thing, but when you do these things, when you're always seeking new challenges, you're always looking to improve yourself, I promise you're going to start feeling much more positive than when you did those other things and those other courses of action that were more of just a subconscious trap that you have been brainwashed to. So I really hope that this was a helpful lesson for you. Now you know how to harness the power of positivity to be the most profitable freelancer imaginable. This lesson is called Massive Action versus the Law of Attraction, and it shows you how to combine these two to actually have success and develop a true millionaire mindset. First, before we combine these together, we need to look at what massive action is versus what the law of attraction is. So since most people are more familiar with the law of attraction, let's start there. So the law of attraction is the belief that positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative experience into a person's life. What that means is basically the contents of your mind become your reality. That is what the law of attraction basically states. Now, the reason this lesson is important is because if you just sit here and meditate just like this girl right here, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to attract anything positive in your life. And I want to be real with you. I want to be completely honest in this academy. In order to actually have results, you can't just sit there and you can't just hope that they come in your life and pray that they do. A lot of people live this way. Of course, you need to be positive, but this is not enough to really make and impact. Positive thinking does nothing without action followed up by it. It's a great start to just think positive, but if you don't take those actions along with it, you're not going to get anywhere at all. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't get out of their own head, they don't get out of their own way, and they don't ever start freelancing in the first place. And you need to just start somewhere. Take that first action. And not only, is it just one action, the one action builds off the next, builds off the next. The truth is, it takes massive levels of action and repeated action to attract what you want in life. Nothing great was built overnight, and nothing worth having is easy to achieve. Persistence and perseverance are the keys to success. So when you start looking at how you can combine these two, right? So the law of attraction, you need to stay persistent with this. You need to make sure when you wake up, you write your why down, you're thinking positive, you want to attract the best things to your life, but then actually having the persistence and perseverance to take those actions every day, those repeated actions, even when you don't feel like it. And every marathon starts with the first step. So the law of action has to be combined with this law of attraction, like I said. So even when you just do the smallest thing, every little action you do in the day builds off of each other. Same thing with every marathon starts with the first step. You just start. You just need to start taking those actions. And the reason it's very important with freelancing and with any, online business or anything in general is that it's easy to get stuck, like I said, in this thinking phase and this research phase. But action is really what is going to get you to that next step. You need to start being obsessed with getting to where you want to go. So taking massive action means making your goal or the act of accomplishing your goal your sole obligation. That's what it means. So you don't have to think of being obsessed as a bad thing, right? Well, it is bad if you're obsessed with the wrong things, but if you're obsessed with the right things, if you're obsessed with providing for yourself, for providing with your family, for being the first one in your family to actually be able to give back to your community, that's the kind of obsession I'm talking about. Taking the first step to define your ultimate goal, this is another way you can start to combine these two. You need to start to understand where your focus is going to be. And the way to do that is to understand, like we said, what your ultimate goal is. So it's a little bit different than what your why is, but it's your ultimate goal. Where are you going? What is that end goal you want to get to? Is it being, a full-time freelancer and having multiple clients that fully supports your life? You need to understand what that goal is, because then, only then, is when you can actually start to develop your circle of focus. So the circle of focus. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and a bunch of other successful people all attribute their success to one thing. If they had to boil it down, they were asked this in many, many interviews, they all boil it down to the word focus. And this is especially important when you're freelancing because there's so many different things you can do. And like I said, in this course, we're going to be using Upwork as our, platform for freelancing. And this is what your circle of focus should look like. Upwork, you should be focusing on building your profile, following these modules, and starting to land clients. But that's not always what happens because let's say you start to do something else. Now you build a website. So not only are you spending your time on trying to get clients on Upwork, but now you said, you know what? Oh, I think I need to have a website. So this might throw you off, but the truth is you don't need a website or an audience or a social media presence to freelance, to get started. The truth is, when I started out, I thought I needed to do this. I literally spent like $750 on a logo, a branding package. I spent, weeks building my website, paid for hosting, domains, all of these different things. And the truth was, I was spreading myself and my focus too thin. So let's say you're on Upwork, and like I said, you start trying to build a website and focus on all of that. Now your focus is diverted into two things. So instead of putting all of your energy into making something great, you're kind of half-assing two things. And this is really when it starts to get dangerous, when your circle of focus looks like a pizza pie. And this is the point I had gotten to because I wasn't having the success I wanted when I was doing things the old way, when I was trying to generate the demand in my freelancing services, as opposed to going out there and capturing the millions of clients that are already posting jobs and looking for work. So this is what it looks like when your circle of focus is spread so thin. You might think you need to post on Facebook 3 times a day, post on LinkedIn, Instagram, and then what does that leave? 20% now of your energy is on Upwork. And this is where you can really start to shoot yourself in the foot. You think you're doing more, but in reality, you're actually doing less because the quality you're going to put in when your focus is shifted all throughout your day, all throughout your week on all of these different things is not going to help you get to that next level. So understanding that you need to combine massive action with the law of attraction, and you need to keep your circle of focus on one thing. Once you understand that, then you understand what is actually required to make these two work together. So once you have mastered that one single thing on your circle of focus, that's when you can actually move on and then move on to something else. But make sure you're not moving on until you've mastered that first thing first. So now you understand massive action versus the law of attraction. Lesson 2. This lesson is called How to Establish Your Why, and it will show you how to determine what motivates you in life. So to sum it up, your why is what your passion is. This is what separates humans from other animals, in my opinion. It's our desire to thrive, not just simply survive. So we all have this vision of what our perfect ideal life looks like. And this is a vision that's in our head. And something that is commonly referred to as the originator of your why is a TED Talk by Simon Sinek. And it's the talk about how great leaders inspire action. And what he describes is that your why is your purpose. It's the reason you get up in the morning. It's what motivates you to take action. It's what keeps you focused each and every day. No one has the power to take purpose from you. But while it is yours, many can share your purpose. Aligning shared passions, shared beliefs, and shared value is how one finds common purpose. So what does that mean? That means that your why is why you wake up in the morning. The reason this lesson is important and the reason I included it is because you need to know what your why is. You need to know what your purpose is because this is what is going to help you when time gets tough. And the truth is, no one has the power to take your purpose from you. But while it might be yours, many people might be motivated by the same thing. So when you start to look at other people's common purposes, you'll start to understand what motivates you. And this is really going to help you. And this is how millionaires act and how they think. They're very, very aligned with their purpose, and everything they do is with that in mind. So to find your purpose, how to establish your why, first look for patterns in your life to find what your why is. Looking at what you do with your time off, what do you spend your money on? So ask yourself what motivates you. For me personally, like we spoke about previously, the freedom of everything, the personal, professional, and financial freedom is what motivates me. But for you, it might not be the freedom that much. It might just be being able to provide for your family. It might be being able to take time off for when you want, be in control of your own schedule. Or it might be to just have nicer things in life and live in a nicer area and have a nicer car. There's nothing wrong with that. But dig a little bit deeper and ask yourself what really motivates you at your core. If you had all the money in the world, what would you be doing? Dissect what your perfect life looks like. Start to break it down and ask yourself, why do you want the things you want? That's going to help you establish what your why is. And like we said before, everyone is inspired by different things. And that's one of the other beautiful things about freelancing is that it helps you achieve what you want. It's all about what you make it. And if money wasn't an object, dissect it more. What would your life look like? What would you do? Not only like what car would you drive and what house would you live in, like we said before, but go deeper even than that. What would you do every day if you didn't physically have to work? Because as humans, we want to contribute to things. And once you're not kind of stuck in that vicious cycle of paycheck to paycheck, just paying your bills, that's when you can actually do what you want. And that is what your passion is. So if you're not at that level yet, that is what freelancing can do for you. And you need to shift your mindset and understand that you need to have passion in the back of your head with everything you do. And then, what mark do you want to leave on this world? Ask yourself, what do you want your legacy to be? So for me, I want to empower myself and others to have true freedom over their lives. For you, it might be something else, and that is what you need to tap into. This is what is going to really help you start up. It's going to help you get off the ground because your why is your fuel. It's what motivates you when things get tough. So what I recommend right now, write down what your why is. And not just right now, but every single day. I like to do it in the morning. You can, type it out. There's a lot of power of physically writing things down and journaling. And just taking that couple seconds will help align your mind. It will remind you why you're doing all of these things, because it's not easy to become super successful. But when you do the things you know you have to do and that you're learning in this program, and you keep your why and your purpose in your heart, it makes it completely possible and achievable. Lesson number 1, how freelancing success can change your life. This lesson is going to show you what freelancing has the capability to do for you. So Upwork did a study, and they do this study every year. And in this study, they found that freelancing and how it impacts the economy is much more than a lot of people think. It's actually as big as the construction industry and transportation industry, and it's on par with the information industry. So what that means is you're in the right place. Freelancing is only going to keep growing, and it's one of the biggest industries, even though a lot of people don't know it. For the first time since they started doing this survey in 2014, freelancers are now starting to report that they're looking at it as more of a long-term career, as opposed to just a temporary way to make money. This is important because some people think freelancing is just something you do because you have to or in between jobs. But when you do it the right way and you do it how I teach you, you're going to find that this is an extremely sustainable and lucrative business. The next really important stat to understand and to realize is that nearly half, so 45% of the skills provided in the survey were programming, marketing, and business consulting. And that's exactly kind of what I suggest because I'm in the digital marketing space, the business consulting space, and no matter what your skill set, whether you're into design, you like writing, you're more into organization tasks, it doesn't matter. You can find a marketing or a business skill, and that can start help you make money quicker than anything else. Nearly half of freelancers agreed that freelancing gives them the flexibility they need because they have either limitations or personal circumstances where they're not able to just work a normal job. And for me, I had a 9-to-5 for a few years. I was rising through the ranks, but I didn't have what I wanted. I didn't have that freedom in my life. And freelancing has given me the flexibility I really craved in life. And that is actually worth more than the money, in my opinion. And the next really interesting stat is that every generation had more than 1 in 4 workers who freelanced in the past year. So this is telling you it doesn't matter how old you are. Literally, you can be like, a teenager all the way up to in your 60s, 70s. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as you use these principles and you understand how you can provide a skill and solve a problem, you can make money freelancing. It's not just for one certain age group. So next, I want to go into where freelancing and freelancers are headed. So by 2027, it's projected that over half of the US workforce is going to be freelancing. So what does that tell us? What can we learn from this? These projections show us that businesses are looking to hire freelancers more and more, and they're shifting away from hiring actual in-house employees. There's a lot of reasons for that, and freelancers, they have more flexibility. They can be more cost-effective because they don't have to pay for benefits and pay for an office space for an employee. So understand that your mindset needs to be aligned with this. Understand that what you're doing is the way of the future. Understand that if you start now and you don't hesitate, you can really get ahead of the curve. And if you start freelancing before you have to, when you start freelancing because you learn what it can do for you, it's going to put you way ahead of the pack. So how can freelancing change your life? Well, I want to let you know that businesses, they're hiring virtual teams more than ever. So this is what I was just talking about. Businesses want to be more agile. If they hire a freelancer, they can hire from anywhere in the world. They can get top level virtual talent teams, right? They don't have to just hire these salary employees anymore. So that's how freelancing can change your life, is that change your mindset. You don't have to just work for one company. You can start working for multiple companies. And that is what a freelancer does. And it's a win-win. That's the most important thing to remember, is that it changes your life because you're no longer just kind of slaving away for a 9-to-5. You're now in a mutual relationship with a client. And that actually adds a lot of value to your life and more money. So freelancers versus agencies. So another thing that people start to talk about when they talk about freelancing is that, you're starting to compete with different agencies, and do people really hire freelancers? Aren't they looking for these big agencies? Well, I want to tell you a story. I was working my 9-to-5 and I was a marketing coordinator. So what that meant was I coordinated all the marketing from my company and the marketing teams that they hired. So I worked with some of the biggest marketing agencies in the country, paying $5,000-$10,000 a month just for their services. And what I learned was that you don't get the level of actual service that you get when you're working with a freelancer. So for example, what does that mean? When you're working with one of these big agencies, you don't have someone you can just call, right off the bat. You have to go through their messaging systems, and you have to submit tickets when things go wrong. And a freelancer has much more flexibility and the ability to also provide exceptional service. So that's something that I learned, and literally this agency, before my 9-to-5, actually fired them outright. What happened was we hired them to do a keyword study, and the keyword study they gave us was so bad that the one that I had initially done, when I first started out as an intern, was leaps and bounds better. So what that showed me right there is that I was adding value to this business. And I understood that, oh my God, I can just do this for other businesses. I don't have to be stuck just in this one box. So I'm really trying to start to shift your mindset, start to understand how there is so much potential here once you learn how to really leverage your value. Next, that gets right into it, leveraging your value, getting paid for your value and not your time. So the rise of the gig economy has made it easier than ever for people to take their work lives into their own hands and get the freedom that they want and that they deserve. This is so powerful. Once you start to understand that you don't have to punch the clock just to get paid, you can start charging monthly for services and really escape just that hamster wheel. That is when you're going to start to see the shift in your mindset. And that's when you're going to start waking up even more excited every day, because you're not just tied to that clock, tied to the desk anymore. It's all about the value that you're providing. Next, you are directly tied to your success. So you don't have to work your way up the corporate ladder over 10, 20 years. If you want to start making, 6-figure income, that's on you. Obviously you have to put the work in to get there, and not everyone gets there because a lot of people quit. But what I'm saying is you're the one that's tied to your success. So if you don't get to your goals, that's just on you. Whereas when you're in a 9-to-5, you're in a salary job, it's very easy to just get complacent and to just kind of sit back because you just, you have your salary rolling in. There's no reason to really grow. Next, freelancing really has given me and every freelancer I've spoken to agree with this, a sense of purpose. It's not just about the money. Of course, the money is important, but there's real life people just like you and me that went from this traditional mindset of working just one job and started working a freelance career. And one of the byproducts that you didn't even know was going to come with that was this increased level of purpose, because now you're working on your own business. It's your own brand, and that is really, really exciting. And ultimately, freedom is what equals happiness. Like being able to do what you want to do in life, in my eyes, that's what happiness is, because that means you don't have to report to anyone else. You take your power back in life. Because the truth is, you're either working for someone else's dream or you're working on your own dream. And this is the first step, understanding how to shift your mindset. Next, let's go over understanding financial, personal, and professional freedom and what that looks like. Well, the actual definition of freedom is important to understand because it really is the foundation of what freelancing is. I mean, it has the word free in it. So freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. This means you get to choose your path. It also has an alternative definition of the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. When you think about it, that's what freedom really is, because if you're stuck doing something you don't want to do, you really are imprisoned. You're enslaved in a certain way of living or acting. And you might be telling yourself it's out of your control, but the truth is, and this is what the millionaire mindset is all about, is that it is in your control. So look for ways you can create freedom in your life. Look for ways you can not be imprisoned or enslaved to anything, even if you're being imprisoned in an old way of thinking. So step number 1 of financial freedom, it's doing the math. And what that means is looking a little bit deeper into what financial freedom even is. So let's just break it down. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to do the millionaire math to see how it's possible. This is the process I like to use for anything. When you want to look at how you can achieve a goal, you need to break it down. So $1 million is 1,000 people buying a $1,000 product. So if you didn't know that, 1,000 times 1,000, that's $1 million. But more importantly, this starts to help break it down because, let's say you are selling a $1,000 product. All you need is 1,000 people to make $1 million. Let's say you're selling a $2,000 product. You only need 500 people to buy that to have $1 million. 400 people at 2,500. So obviously, the higher you can kind of upsell, the less number of people you need to get that million. And look at that, that's 400 people. I mean, obviously, a $2,500 product needs to be very, very valuable. But what I'm trying to show you is this is possible when you break it down and you do the math. It gets even, more exciting as you start to look at the power of, once again, multiplying and increasing. So now, instead of that 2,500, if you charge $5,000, you only need 200 people to get that $1 million. Now here's another way to look at, millionaire math. 34 people pay you $2.5K a month for a year. So now that's like, let's say you have, a service that you offer for $2,500 a month. You need 34 clients or 34 people to pay you for a year, and you literally made $1 million. And let's, double that again. Let's do some more math. You only need 17 people to pay you $5K per month for 12 months to make $1 million a year. And what this is trying to show you is, not how easy it is to make $1 million. Of course, it's going to take a very high level of work and focus. But what it's showing you is that it's possible. Because a lot of people have the misconception that it's nearly impossible to be a millionaire. Only the lucky people have money. They were born into it. But the truth is, there is no shortage of money on planet Earth. There really isn't. You could take $1 billion off of Earth tomorrow and no one would even notice. Money is literally transacted every single second. Not only is money transacted, but credit is transacted. That's literally people buying things, buying products and services with money that they don't even have. It's just an IOU to a bank. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to shift your mindset. Understand that there is no shortage of money. And you know that saying money doesn't grow on trees? Well, I mean, it's actually does grow on trees in a way, right? Because it grows from a cotton bush, and in a way that's a tree. So shift your thinking. Get these old sayings out of your head that have been instilled in you for years. A penny saved is a penny earned, and you're never going to be rich. Just be realistic. You need to throw that thinking out. Understand that there is abundance out there if you know how to get it and if you go and do it. Next, I want to talk about what personal freedom is. So now that we've discussed what financial freedom is, we did some millionaire math, I want to talk about what personal freedom is and what it means to me. To me, personal freedom is being able to make your own schedule, having the freedom to work not only when you want, but where you want, and where you get to spend your off time, So when you're a freelancer and you don't have to specifically be in one place, you can work from wherever you want. So that means, do you want to go visit family? Do you want to go on a trip? Do you want to just, have your home office and be able to work from home and, spend time with your kids? It's all up to you. And then the other beautiful part of it is you get to structure your schedule. So what I'm showing you is that not only, does freelancing have the ability to change your life in a financial way, but it's also going to help transform your life when you're not working. And it's really all about choosing how you want your life. Everyone is different, everyone wants to do different things and value different things, but that's the beauty of it is you get to choose how you want to live your life. You get to choose where you want to work. Do you want to work on the beach, the mountains? Do you want to be, hiking on your off time? It doesn't matter. The beauty is I've worked from all over the country, everywhere I've been traveling for the past, 3-4 years freelancing. And when I had my 9-to-5, it wasn't that way. I literally wasn't able to do anything. I only had a couple days of PTO time, and that was really for holidays to see family. So just being able to choose where I want to work and go where I want to on my off time, not have to ask for permission to take a vacation, for me, that was the personal freedom I was looking for. You also get to choose when you want to work. So like we spoke about previously, you get to be in control of your time, in control of your schedule, in control of your life. And this is something that is very, very kind of underrated in a way, but it has such a big impact because when you get to actually plan your schedule out, you get to choose whether you want to do a 3-day weekend. Or you get to choose, whether you want to work night shifts and have mornings to spend time with your family or do a hobby you love. But what I'm trying to say is you're no longer stuck in this box of you have to show up at these hours. You now can kind of shift your schedule around your life and not the other way around. And that is when you start to really understand that not only does money become more accessible with freelancing, but your life starts to even just get better overall because of it. And really, having the ability when you work is having freedom over your schedule. And having freedom over your schedule, like we said, is having freedom over your daily life. And lastly, you get to choose what you want to work on. And this is something else that you get to focus and provide skills that you enjoy doing. You can find what it is that's a high in-demand skill, and you can do that for a business. And that's really, really powerful because when you do something that you enjoy doing, time goes quicker, it doesn't really feel like work, and you really feel like a different sense of purpose as opposed to when you're working a job that's just very monotonous and you're not contributing to something bigger. You're just overall in a better state of mind, a better mood, and that gives you what I call professional freedom. And here's a really, really good quote I like. True happiness is the ultimate feeling of freedom. You experience the freedom of choice when you live from the inside out, not allowing your happiness to be defined by the traditional benchmarks, but creating your own. Listening to your own inner voice and trusting your choices will lead you to a life of happiness. And that is really what I resonate with. When you have that true sense of freedom, that's when you start to feel this underlying layer of happiness really start to increase. And that's what the millionaire mindset is all about. Being able to not only be a millionaire financially, but be a millionaire in other ways. Have abundance in yourself, in your confidence, have abundance in quality relationships. It's not just about the money, it's about financial, personal, and professional freedom. So now you know how freelancing can change your life. Ultimately, happiness is what occurs when you have freedom. Developing a millionaire mindset so you can shift your perspective and improve your life. The bird's eye view of developing a millionaire mindset all consists of understanding how to make decisions that result in freelance success. We're going to go over how you can get your mindset and perspective adjusted so you can actually achieve your goals. It's also about learning how to land clients and defeat the competition. There's a lot of competition in anything you do in life, but if you notice, there's always people who are winners. And I'm going to show you how you can stand out and be one of those winners. And then understanding what is necessary to get results. That is a fundamental part of a millionaire mindset, is that being a millionaire or being someone who has that mindset, you understand that it takes hard work and it takes repeated actions to get results. So once you have that mindset, that is going to help secure your future even more. And then begin seeing problems as opportunities. This module goes over how you can start rewiring your brain and look at different things and different problems in a new light, and look at how you can help and add value. That is how you're going to start really having that millionaire mindset in everything you do. And lastly, we're going to discuss how hacking your brain can really help you stay motivated and produce at the highest levels possible. So this is a quote I really think helps summarize the millionaire mindset. And it's something that I really resonate with. The quote is, "There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." Nelson Mandela said that. And I truly believe that in life, as you look back and as you age, the only things you really regret are the things that you didn't do, those chances that you didn't take. That is what is going to eat you alive if you don't go after your dreams. So that is why I am so happy to have you here, and I can't wait to show you what the Millionaire Mindset module consists of. So what's covered in this module? First, we're going to go over how freelancing success can change your life, how to establish your why, massive action versus the law of attraction, the power of positivity, establishing your circle of focus, health, wealth, and relationships, and how you can stay motivated.